Okay, so we just got done with week 10, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this was probably my favorite week of the entire season, so let's get right into this recap. Another Thursday, another week of slowly watching the life siphon out of Al Michaels' decaying prison of flesh while he just soullessly commentates on a game he doesn't care about. Like anyone else who watched this game, my expectations on a scale of 1 to 10 were a solid -4, and pretty much instantly that got blown right out of the water. Tyson Bagent looked terrible from start to finish, and Bryce Young ran around helplessly while his receivers got completely clamped by auto-generated guys, and when they were open, Bryce didn't exactly help himself beat the bust allegations either. I'm just shocked this game was even legally allowed to be played. I mean, for a solid 30 minutes or so, the announcers were talking more about Jason Kelce in the booth than the game, and I completely understood. Even the final drive was one of the worst I've ever seen, appropriately ending in a missed field goal, meaning that, hilariously, not only did the Bears win the dignity battle and the actual game, which, doesn't really matter, but they still won it, they also won the war, and they're just constantly going to dangle those keys over the Panthers saying, you don't have your draft pick, we do. Enjoy Bryce Young. This was a tank bowl. Like it or not, but Indy, you're simply not ready yet. Consistent ugly wins against terrible teams means next to nothing, and racking up yet another one versus New England might help your ego, but that's about it. The Patriots are bad, but we know this. However, what we don't know is who to blame. The entire season for the Patriots this year has just been a blame game. First, it's Mac Jones' fault, then it's the O-line, then it's the injuries, then it's Bill's fault, then it's the other Bill's fault. It's just been a mess, and unfortunately, this game proved to me that even though it's not entirely Mac Jones' fault, this is probably going to be his last season ever as a starting quarterback in the NFL consistently. The team just doesn't have confidence in him anymore, and he's simply regressed every year since his rookie season. His mentality and swagger is shot, and when you as a head coach are supposed to lead Mac Jones and help him to develop, when you pull him from the game and maybe blame it on potential injury concerns in the final 2 minutes, that is not really going to help him. And watching Bailey Zappi and whip out the old fake Spike Peterman classic, it probably wasn't what Bill had in mind when he made this decision. I mean, what did you expect from this game? If you woke up for it early, then why? Simply why? But the Patriots just need to figure out what they want to keep next year, and for now, just keep up the tank job. You're doing well. I'm scared, Baltimore. I can't trust you anymore. Not that I probably ever could have, because you guys are the best of the best when it comes to being the worst, but I feel like maybe you've bettered yourself. That's what I believed, at least. Maybe off of the back of a top 5 defense, you could at least mask some coaching flaws and mistakes to coast to wins off of a select few explosive plays, but I was wrong. Early on in this game, though, it felt like yet another Baltimore blowout was coming, and the media was about to crown the Ravens as the NFL's best team, and Lamar would unsheath his sword yet again. But even with the Browns just killing, and I mean killing themselves with mistakes over and over again, with penalties and the muffed punt, the Ravens did not respond. They just went stagnant. For some reason, they refused to use their most explosive player in Keaton Mitchell, and the O-line got annihilated, giving Lamar 0 time. And the offense wasn't alone in this collapse. The Ravens defense, which has been the closest thing to a stone wall in the AFC we've seen, let Cosby just go nuclear on them in the second half. The first half, he was as per the script, but I don't know, for a half or so, it was pretty cool to see the Texans' Deshaun Watson version come out to play again. So, thanks to Baltimore's defense for finding a way to lose on a last-second field goal, even while leading the game for 59 minutes. 59 minutes of leading the game, and you found a way to it all up. I mean, that just deserves a golf clap or something at least. Good work, boys. Good work. Now, I'm sure there are people out there who are calling this a massive statement win for the Browns, and although that might be true, I don't know, I feel like we need to see some consistency out of Deshaun Watson. He didn't even play good for a half. So, I mean, I'm going to need 2 good full games in a row before the Browns are real contenders. But with that defense and the adversity they faced in this game, they proved that no matter the game script, they can pretty much come back in any matchup. And for Baltimore, clean this up. Just clean it up. Please, don't let this happen again. Ever. Well, who could have guessed it? The team that has just pulled ugly win after ugly win out of their hairy asshole, matched up against one of the NFL's best at full strength, and just got pantsed in front of the entire league. I mean, this game just encapsulated everything wrong with the Jags offense. Trevor Lawrence still just looks uncomfortable, especially with more than a few big men getting after him on every play, and when Etienne isn't involved, things just get ugly, as well as Calvin Ridley just not being on the team for 30% of games. The game ended on the first drive. What else do you want me to say? The Jaguars are the Jaguars. I really don't think they're going to get better from here, but I guess to play some devil's advocate or whatever and say the Jags still got a shot at the Super Bowl, as long as they can hold off the Texans for the division, then they still have another month and a half to figure it out, so there's that. Everyone came into this game hoping that we would see the Bengals return to 100% undisputed Super Bowl form, and guess what? That actually happened. On the first drive, the Bengals looked in command, getting a touchdown instantly, and it smelled like a Bengals blowout had just got thrown onto the grill. But then the opposite happened. For the rest of the first half, the Bengals offense could only limp to 34 yards and allowed CJ Stroud to take control of the pace of the game completely. Stroud looked amazing again. He's so advanced, already countering near everything the Bengals threw at him. This was a perfect example of how not to game plan against Stroud. So, hey, at least now the rest of the league knows. But even with the Texans seemingly looking to end the game off of the back of apparently the best running back in the league in Devin Singletary, just like that, here came the Bengals. After Burrow f***ed up even more, CJ Stroud had to one-up Joe with one of the worst picks I've seen since Jimmy G was suiting up. I mean, actually, though, what happened here? In one throw, the entire momentum swung towards Cincy, and the jungle erupted. And from there, it seemed like, without a doubt, the Bengals were about to do what the Ravens couldn't, and what true contenders can do. Close out a game in ugly fashion, with a Mixon touchdown, defensive stand, and a Tyler Boyd grab inside the 10-yard line. All the Bengals had to do was punch it in for 7 yards. 7 yards was all they needed to win the game, and they couldn't do it.
For 64, oh, down goes Burrow. He'll run it himself. Burrow, then grabbed right there. Collins got him, and Burrow to the air, to the end zone. Oh, Boyd.
Yeah, they're definitely losing. 40 seconds is simply too much time for CJ Stroud, and with an all-pro in Noah Brown, the backup kicker sent the Bengals home in a lake of their own incompetence. Wow. Dude, the Bengals needed this win so badly. They needed it so badly, and now they have a short week on Thursday versus the pissed-off Ravens, and if they lose that game, all of a sudden, the Bengals are going to be 5-5 and are going to face, at the very least, a uphill road to even make the wild card round. And Houston fans, true Houston Texans fans, the very few of you out there, just look at this scene. This should bring a tear to your eye. You have a culture, a real culture, and for the next 10 years at least, behind a potential superstar quarterback, you're gonna have fun watching football games, so just enjoy it. It sounds nice. Will Levis is going to die. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Nothing says helping your young quarterback out like allowing him to get sacked 3 times in the first half, pressured on damn near every attempt, and now he gets to play against Josh Allen next week, so he's gonna break. I know Titans fans were spoiled by their O-line over the last couple of years, but this is disgraceful. I can't remember the last time I saw back-to-back false starts by the same guy, or actually, you know, as a Raiders fan, I see it often. But on defense, they still suck. The Titans just got lit up by Baker Mayfield, and Mike Evans just did Mike Evans stuff. What more do you want me to say? The Titans are a bottom 5 team, and the Bucs are a little bit worse than mid, and the better team won. So Tennessee, just take that Will Levis didn't get injured as a win and move on to lose another game.
Yes.
You blew it, New Orleans. Not that I expected you to do anything, but I'm still somehow disappointed. This game had every opportunity to be a statement win for your team. Not that the Vikings are the Eagles or anything, but they're pretty solid sometimes. However, rather than a huge win for your playoff chances, your fans were forced to watch Derek Carr, Marshawn Lattimore, and the slant man get injured, while Carmichael's offense revolved around the 3 and out as per usual, and the Saints defense made Josh Dobbs look like the unanimous MVP in the first half. It could not have felt good knowing that you got Derek Carr on a hefty price tag for a few years, while this bald guy fresh off the plane was bawling out of his mind, hitting the Jordan shrug on you. But I mean, when you pull off plays like this, you get the right to shit talk. I mean, hey, come on, Mahomes could never. The game ended in the second quarter, but when Carr had to go take a shit, Jameis replaced him, and Jameis came in. It almost brought a tear to my eye. He's airing it out again. Memories of the good old days. It's so much fun watching Jameis as a neutral fan. He literally just doesn't care. He's throwing it no matter what. But this was a devastating loss for the Saints. But at the same time, you're used to this. Your coaching is still terrible. You got to use Taysom Hill more and whatnot. But your division is so bad that you might just make the playoffs still. It's the one silver lining about every team in this division. No matter how disappointing you are, there's still a chance at the playoffs.
You can't keep getting away with it!
What the hell is happening here? The Steelers and the Packers? Two of the worst offenses in the league actually put up points. Like full-on touchdowns. This game was the battle of the run game. But even with that, Jordan Love still had one of the best games he's had in a hot minute. He was dropping dimes, and obviously he still missed a ton of throws and has accuracy issues to work on, but progress is progress, and maybe if his receivers caught more balls and the goddamn PAT wasn't blocked, this would have been a whole different game. Instead, the Steelers played some hard-nosed, old-fashioned, manly man Sigma football. Hell yeah, this is the Steeler way, baby. Just fucking play like shit until the stench engulfs everyone in the arena and you win by default. There's no point in trying to rationalize the Steelers team. I could throw up another stat about, the Steelers are just one of the worst teams in the league statistically, but they keep winning games. So, like I said, they keep winning games. And as long as that keeps happening, there's really no point in complaining. They're going to play every team close from the Ravens to the Packers, and that's the Steeler way.
Yep.
Yeah, that's your season right there. And not throwing you in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes, obviously, but you're done. Nothing is going to come from this season at all, Chargers. The Brandon Staley era should have ended along with Joe Lombardi in the incident versus Jacksonville. You can't give up 8.3 yards per play in a game and expect to win. You let the human bowling ball run for a 70-yard touchdown. David Montgomery for a breakaway touchdown run to the house should not be possible. Dude, can you imagine how fun it must have been to play for the Lions on Sunday? They could do whatever they wanted. Dan Campbell went for it on every fourth down, seemingly, as per usual, and it just worked. They couldn't stop anything. But on the other side of the ball, the Chargers offense was also in the zone. Justin Herbert, broken fingy and all, had himself a day, and they scored 7 points on 5 straight drives and lost the game. They lost 5 touchdowns on 5 drives in a row. Something just needs to change. I mean, it's just getting funny. I don't understand how anyone can defend Brandon Staley anymore. Over the past couple of weeks, the only point has been, the defense is getting better. They're playing well, but, I mean, it was the Bears and the Jets. Brother, if you put me in some pads and I got a mean swim move, I feel like I could stifle Zach Wilson and Tyson Bagent at least a little bit. So just fire Brandon Staley. Just do it. It's over. It's over. You know, Arthur Smith never really struck me as a bottom kind of guy, but I guess he gave in and said, hey, you guys want Bijan? Fine, I'll give you Bijan. And Bijan looked great. Yeah, it turns out he's pretty good at football, but the O-line looked bad out there, and so did, everything else. Everything was pretty much bad outside of just Bijan. This team suffered from the exact same problems as last week, and the week before, and the week before. It's just everything gets marginally worse each and every week with this team. The passing game disappears at times, the defense continues to get weaker and weaker with injuries piling up, and like I said, the O-line has taken a colossal step down from last year. And if they weren't playing the worst team in the NFL, this game would have been a 35-point execution if they faced the Cowboys. Instead, because Kyler had some rust to work off and some chemistry to build with his new receivers, the Falcons stuck around in this game, and all they had to do was make one defensive stop. Stop Kyler Murray in his first game back from going straight down the field in a 2-minute drill.
Cardinals need a play right here from their franchise quarterback. Murray running for his life. Murray trying to buy some time. Murray gets a couple of blockers. Murray's going to run for it. He's got it. A chip shot to win it. Good snap. And the kick is good.
The Cardinals. You lost to the Cardinals. I know Kyler was back and this isn't the same team, but still, I never expected things to get this bad. I really didn't. And at the same time, you can still make the playoffs, so it's all fine. It's all good. There's no problems. Wow, who would have guessed it? Yes, Danny DeVito out here is still not even a starting D2 quarterback. The game ended in the first quarter when the Giants decided, well, since we still don't have a quarterback, for some reason, let's play offense to do what we can to stop Dallas's defense from scoring. Scoring points on our side is just not going to happen, so let's not lose the game by 60. This wasn't fair. Poor Saquon. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but he's just wasting the best years of his career for nothing. For nothing. And CD did more CD things, I guess. Dak looked good, but Dallas has done this so many times that this just didn't even matter for either team. Just let's forget that this game ever happened.
Help me!
The Commanders remind me a lot of the 2019 Bucks when Jameis went 30 for 30, minus the excessive interceptions and the defense, which isn't a good thing. Eric Bieniemy is running this Commanders offense near exactly how he ran the Chiefs offense, except they don't have a Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, or Patrick Mahomes. But hey, Sam Howell's damn near close, I guess. At the very least, Washington doesn't have to worry about the quarterback position for 2 or 3 years, which is really a nice luxury. Just worry about literally everything else, because this team can't play defense for Geno Smith looked better, but of course he did. This is the worst passing defense in the NFL, and he still made a ton of vintage Jets Geno plays, including a confusing grounding play and a missed turnover that should have added at least 1 pick to his stat line. This game actually just felt like Sam Howell versus the Seahawks. He put up an incredible fight, scaring the shit out of Seattle fans late, but if Geno can do one thing well still, it's orchestrate a game-winning drive, and a few passes to the grown man, and what you get is a tie for first place in the NFC West, and, you know, maybe it's just me, but I don't think this division standing will last for very long. As I said last week, the Seahawks are still just a totem pole length beneath the true contenders of the NFL, and unfortunately for them, things are going to get really tough. Your next couple of games are looking damn near impossible, so as long as you can hang in there, maybe you'll make some noise in the wild card, but I still don't have much hope for you. I'd like to sincerely apologize for those of you non-Jets and Raiders fans who watch this game because, well, you know, actually, I don't know what you expected. Zach Wilson versus Aiden O'Connell was going to be a battle of whose offense could eventually stumble into a singular touchdown, and whoever would score that one touchdown would just win the game. And so the legendary duel began. O'Connell stared down his first read every time. Zach Wilson missed throw after throw. Jacobs got hit before the line of scrimmage, and our coach doesn't know how a challenge even works, but who gives a we have talent on offense. Josh Jacobs is still that guy, and after feeding the man his second straight 25-plus carry game, we punched it in for a touchdown, and yeah, Zach Wilson ain't scoring 6 points. That's just too many for him. There was a little scare, but for my Raiders fan brain, back-to-back fumbles and a very close Hail Mary completion is nothing, and I'll say it again, I don't get how Zach Wilson has a job. He's so bad, but who cares? We won! We won a game! We're going to the playoffs! Antonio Pierce is the savior. I guess. Oh, Buffalo, please just take a seat. We need to talk. You can use injuries all you want as a valid excuse, but that doesn't change the product that you constantly keep putting out on the field. This team is soulless. Just soulless. Josh Allen has been wildly inconsistent at best, along with the rest of the offense, and to be honest with you, I hope to God Ken Dorsey was the main problem with the offense, but I'm really not sure. The Broncos offense constantly failed to capitalize on Buffalo's turnovers, and after a few splash offensive plays, the Bills still had a shot in this game and couldn't close it out. I know James Cook fumbled early on, but the man was torching Denver's defense all day long, and they refused to give him workhorse carries, and after a drive of checkdowns as per usual, the Broncos still missed the No, wait a minute. Nope. The Bills are so competent. Denver gets a redo. And there you go, Bills fans. Game over. Enjoy the worst Tuesday morning you're going to have all year. This team needs so much help, and they ain't getting it this season. But wait, before we go, it's time for the TubFrog Discord Awards, where you all vote on what you thought were the best and worst highlights from this week, and if you want to vote, join the Discord. The link is in the description. I post the polls after the Monday night game, and with that, in a tight vote, Josh Dobbs' Michael Vick impression for a touchdown won the best play of the week. And honestly, maybe recency bias, but Courtland Sutton's touchdown was actually one of the best plays I've ever seen, but I can't argue too much. The best game of the week was the shootout between Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, and the entire Lions offense. Definitely one of the best of the year. The best individual performance for the second week in a row, I would have gone with Dak, but whatever. CJ Stroud is just going to win the MVP, I guess, and he won this poll pretty convincingly, too. The worst team performance also wasn't even close. The Buffalo Bills got nearly 60 votes, and all of which entirely deserved. The worst individual performance, once again, the two-time defending champion returning to claim his throne, Mac Jones, took the win. I'm glad to have you back, Mac, but this might be his last entry, sadly. And finally, I asked you what your favorite golf club was, and I gotta say, this might be the hottest take I've ever seen on one of these polls. The 9-iron. Wow, I can't believe it. I don't even have any words for that. But anyways, if you like this video, then subscribe, because I got a lot of videos on the channel just like this one. And thanks to all my Patreons for pledging $1. You can click the link in the description if you want to. You don't have to, obviously. And if you like this video, then watch this video right here I just did on how the Buffalo Bills lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. It's pretty good, trust me. But anyways, until next time.